Well, good morning, community. Welcome to Stroke the Journey Within podcast. I have no idea why my hat is blending with the background, but we'll deal with it. I wanted to say this morning, this is turning out. I spent an hour at least getting ready for the show, taking notes. And this is going to end up being a mini series. I'm going to do a mini series because so many things we get unpacked. We get unpacked by the stroke, by the show. Hey there, Jamie Parrish from the United Kingdom. Thank you for being out there, Jamie. Appreciate it, bro. It's good to see you. But like I said, there's so much to who am I after stroke, my identity. There's so much. There's so much in this to unpack. I can see this easy in 3-part, 4-part series. So it'll be on every Wednesday, and I think next Wednesday will be mindset. But let's get right into it because I think it's gonna be a really, really great show. And I want to hear my AI reason I meant this show.
Stroke. The Journey Within podcast was born out of my personal experience with stroke and a deep understanding of the physical, emotional, and spiritual challenges that follow. After surviving a stroke and a near-death experience, I realized that the journey to rebuilding my life after a stroke is more than just physical. It's an inner journey that transforms your entire being. I created this podcast to give voice to that transformation. It's a platform for stroke survivors, caregivers, and loved ones to explore the emotional and spiritual impacts of stroke. My goal is to provide hope, guidance, and a sense of community to those navigating their own journeys. Through stories, interviews, and reflections, Stroke. The Journey Within aims to empower others to look inward, discover their strength, and embrace the path of healing with courage and grace. This podcast is a space to explore not just survival, but how the stroke experience can bring out the resilience within each of us.
That really says it all. Why I wrote the words, and obviously I had AI read it. But we're together. I want to say this podcast and why I'm here, do what I do. Man, it's pretty bugging my Bob hat. Is because we are a community. I created this. We all could come together and help each other. So thank you for being out there. Thank you for being part of this community. But I really want to get into this. Get right into it. I want to remind you to please like, comment, and share on this video, this podcast. Just give it to somebody that you may think may benefit from it. If my hair wasn't so messed up, I would change my hat. I day my hat, but I can't. So what's that to do with it? Now, why I did, why self-stability the background. But I wanted to talk today about identity. I think every stroke, I can't be the only one. That when my stroke happened, my identity, who I was, what I did, was erased, gone. In a blink of an eye, as fast as lightning strikes, I became a stroke survivor. So let's get right into it. I put in comments where you're watching from. I want to see who, if you watch this live or on replay, please put in comments where you're watching from. Where is this podcast reaching? But let's start out this identity, who I am after stroke. Let's start out with what the word identity means. It definition is the memories of experience and relationship that and it's a combination of everything in life, what you're currently doing, that makes up your identity. So what happens to us? A stroke survivor, if we have a stroke, basically as fast lightning strikes. Okay, well, many crickets. I guess you guys are gonna deal with my mess here because it's just freaking the way of me. I cannot handle it. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't look at myself in the camera and see it. But our identity of who we are after stroke is completely wiped out. When we have stroke, within seconds, we sit there and go from somebody to basically everything is wiped. Our identity is wiped. So what I want to know from you, put in comments if you've struggled with your identity as a stroke survivor. Put in comments what if you've identified or you can understand or relate to this topic, which is who am I after stroke. I want to tell you who you're not. And I think it's a very common mistake. I'm going to tell you who your identity is not. Your identity is not stroke. You are not a stroke. You are not just a stroke survivor. You are how you respond to stroke. You want to know how you're going to be remembered? People will look at you and say, oh, either A, you're a stroke survivor, or B, look what he's overcome. See, you're not stroke. You are how you respond to stroke. So I don't want you to get confused by that. So many times, I'm Aaron, I'm stroke survivor Aaron Avila. Well, no, I'm not stroke survivor Aaron Avila. My name is Aaron Avila and I had a stroke. Here's what I do after my stroke. Here's how I respond to it. Here I am now. So you will be remembered how you responded to stroke, not having a stroke. So what is identity? As human beings, our identity is what we can do physically, our job primarily. I am in business for 12 years before my stroke. And I'm just amazed that all of us, human beings, we put our identity into what we could do in a stroke. It's actually a lot more than that. Who we are is more deeper than what we do, our job, our physical. But we are totally trained to face our identity in our job, our career, what we're doing. So I want to tell you right now, this is not true. This is not who you are. As fast as lightning strikes, all of our abilities, physical abilities, cognitive abilities, things we base our identity on were taken away. I don't know, but I woke up. I don't remember waking up. I had a brain aneurysm and woke up in the hospital, and it was not. It was only because of I woke up with a blank slate. I feel like I was nobody. Because we base our who we are on what we are able to accomplish physically. So let me keep going here, guys. Stroke left us with no longer the ability to function correctly. So what do we do? How do we deal with all of a sudden not drawing a blank or just blank slate? We don't have the identity we used to have. I personally own my business owner, and that's who it was. But in reality, that was taken away by stroke. Was as fast as lightning strikes. It was taken. My identity was wiped clean. At that point, we are faced with a decision. We are faced with the decision to either what? What is the decision? So here we are. We have stroke. Our identity is wiped. We're then faced with the decision. What is that decision? We can either recoil or go into a dark place of loneliness, helplessness, or we have a choice to I can't see it happen. I can't present the way of this. So what we believe is accurate. We have a choice. You, as a stroke survivor, have a choice. When you after your stroke, you can recoil in a dark place, or choose to say, "I'm going to rebuild my life to stroke." I'm going to get into that just a little bit. We have a choice to rebuild our life after stroke. You're going to hear me. I'm not so big on the word recovery because I don't believe recovery is possible. You will always be a stroke survivor. I think it's very misleading in the medical industry to tell stroke survivors they're going to recover like we have a common cold or something. We don't. So the reality of the situation we're facing as stroke survivors, that we must choose to rebuild our life as stroke. See the difference. One is recovery, one is rebuilding. One shows no action, recovery. One is rebuilding, shows action. The only way that we're going to find our life after stroke is if we rebuild it. We're blank slate now. We basically just what we do, what we accomplish in this after stroke is rebuilding. You look at stroke like this. I want you to rebuild a house. The foundation is for first. What is that foundation? Mindset. You can next Wednesday be a mindset. I think mindset is foundational to us finding life after stroke. But when you build a house, you rebuild the house. You rebuild it from the foundation up. And when you don't recover, you don't have a common cold. You're not like all of a sudden going to wake up as a non-stroke survivor or back the way you were. No, you need to do your therapy every day and rebuild your life. Put your effort in, be relentless, and you can build a life that you're proud of after stroke. It's not going to come to you automatically. If you sit on a couch and eat potato chips, you'll just get fat. You won't recover from stroke. It's not automatic. You must do something. So basically, we are rebuilding our lives from the ground up. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Anybody telling you that building your life or late is the word recovery. Anybody telling you this is an easy journey is one of the hardest journeys. I think stroke is one of the hardest things a human being can go through. Don't you agree with that, Jamie? I mean, we really, it's the hardest things. We don't die. So Jesus maimed, and then we can't. We're just the way. It's just the way we are. But I'm gonna tell you how I look at stroke, and maybe you can adapt this to your stroke survivor life. I believe that we've been given a second chance. We've been given a second chance in life. I got a lot going on. Hey, Scott, there's Scott White out there. Good afternoon, Scott White. Thank you for joining us. Scott White is from Georgia. Thank you for being out there. So, in all reality, I believe that this is uh, the reality of it, is that we can look at stroke negatively and say our life is over. Or we can say, hey, wait, I can rebuild my life bigger and better and more powerful than it was before. And that's what I've chosen to do. And I just suggest you do that too. Do not recoil. Do not go in that dark place. Don't just sit there. Live again. Learn to rebuild your life at stroke. It is possible. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. You are not your stroke. You are not your stroke. You are how you respond to your stroke. That's who you are, how you respond to it. So don't give up. Keep going. Rebuild your life after stroke. Don't mind the word recovery, but rebuild it. It takes effort, nails, hammers, tape measures. You have to really put in effort to rebuild it. In fact, Scott White, who is in the audience right now, prime example. He could have, after his stroke, recoiled and went back into a dark place. But no, he chose to rebuild his life. Years later, he now drives. Yep, he's driving. And I think it's amazing. The point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to give in to stroke and go hopeless. You could strive and be relentless and rebuild your life after stroke. You know, I want to take just a minute to tell you. You and I cannot, remind you, you and I cannot do anything about what happened to us. We cannot do anything about having a stroke. We just had one. But you can do everything about what you do after a stroke, how you respond to it. That really is a key to identity. You know, I think it's really, really important that you realize that your identity, but you're like me, I remember that there was a part of me that said my life is over. In fact, I was suicidal in the beginning. But now in reality, it wasn't. Stroke became one of has become one of the best things that ever happened to me. How can I say that? Because I now have a chance to rebuild my life brand new, better than it was before, more impactful. I help people around the world. I love it. I'm seeing you have people, you yourself can make a better life for yourself. So we look at stroke. Don't let stroke lie to you. You have hope. You have the ability to impact lives. There's one thing I could tell you right now you can do. You could raise stroke awareness. If you have any question how to do that, get in touch with me. But yeah, you see the email scrolling across the bottom down below. But you can make a difference, help raise stroke awareness so other people don't have to go through this. Boy, this half an hour passed so quick, really about 8 minutes up. But I want to tell you something. Let me take this off the screen. You know, we base ourselves, base our identity on what we're able to do physically. And once stroke is done, to all of us, it's taken away those things that we identified with to be our identity, our abilities, our cognitive ability. I am telling you, that's not who you are. That's not your identity. Who you are is what you are right now. Who you are is what you believe you are. You got to remember earlier on in the podcast, I said who our identity is based on a combination of experiences in life. Well, it's true. But now, after a stroke, you can rebuild your life. You can base your identity on don't give up, don't listen to dark lies of stroke. You can rebuild your life to be the fullest and best life you ever lived. I know it doesn't seem possible, but if all my dreams come true, everything happens, I will have a better life than I did before. But I didn't want to fall in the trap of stroke because stroke is what I consider an extremely dark energy. And you must find it with light. The dark energy of stroke will lie to you, tell you you're not valuable, you have no identity, you float around basically. You're taking up airspace. But that is a lie of stroke. I am telling you right now that you as a person, no matter how you feel, are valuable. Who you are as a person is extremely important to be on this earth. God could have took you out. God could allow you to die. But if you're alive right now and you're listening to this podcast, you have a purpose. You have a reason you're alive. So go out, chase after that. Ask God, why am I here? What am I to do? What do you want me to do? He'll show you. And I think it's important for you to rebuild your life after stroke. I mean, it's important that you find your purpose after stroke because every stroke survivor has a purpose. Well, I want to bear in mind, man, I'm going to cut this up a little bit. Next week, I'll try to detail my mindset. But I want you to come in every Wednesday. This will be our 3 to 4 part series on identity I'll be doing. And I'll go back to I'm trying to work on my speech. Not easy, but doable. All right, everybody. Thank you. If you have any questions, comments, please put them in the comment section below. I will personally get back to you. And don't forget to subscribe to Stroke TV Media YouTube channel. Really important. When you subscribe, you trigger the algorithm to really help promote and raise stroke awareness. So make sure you get you and our stroke friends to subscribe to Stroke TV Media on YouTube. Really important. Really will help us use Google's reach to raise stroke awareness. But I want to thank everybody for being there. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Again, tune next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll be doing the podcast on mindset because mindset is foundational to your identity and your finding life after stroke. Okay, everybody. Bye. I will be a great day. Leave me a comment. I'll reply directly. Bye, everybody.
Set me on